These are the following objectives of today's talk. To introduce the concept of ideal solution and the regular solution and compare their mixing thermodynamics. The free energy, enthalpy and entropy changes associated mixing is dealt with. Second objective is to understand what is an ordered phase and define the short range order and the long range order. The third objective is to discuss how the degree of long range order or short range order vary with temperature. Ideal solution. It is found by the simplest type of mixing, for which the enthalpy change of the mixing delta H mixing is equal to 0. The free energy change on mixing is only due to the change in entropy. Delta G mixing is equal to delta H mixing minus T delta S mixing is equal to minus T delta S mixing. In the case of ideal solution, the assumption is that the individual atoms behave as if they are point masses. Since delta S mixing is equal to minus R XA ln XA plus XB ln XB, where XA and XB are the mole fractions of the binary alloy of A and B species, we have delta G mixing is equal to RT multiplied by XA ln XA plus XB ln XB. Now, come to a regular solution. The ideal solution with the delta H mixing is equal to 0 is seldom exhibited in practice, and usually the enthalpy of mixing is either endothermic or exothermic. Heat is absorbed or released when components dissolve to make the solution. For a regular solution where delta S mixing is not equal to 0, the free energy change of the mixing include the delta H mix term, which in turn can be described by the so-called quasi-chemical model. That is, the heat of mixing, delta H mixing, is only due to the bond energies between the adjacent atoms. For this assumption to be valid, it is necessary that the volumes of pure A and pure B are equal and they do not change during the mixing, so that the interatomic distance and bond energies are independent of composition. This is the basic assumption which is made in the regular solution model. Figure here shows the different types of atomic bonds in the solid solution. So you have got AA type of bonds and BB type of bonds, and as well as AB type of bonds. So BA type is same as AB type. In the structure of a regular solution, there are three types of atomic bonds: AA bonds, each with an energy HAA; BB type bonds, each with an energy HBB; and AB type of bonds with an energy HAB. Let us define zero energy to be the state where the atoms are separated to infinity. Then HAA, HBB and HAB are all negative in quantity. Forming a bond is an exothermic process and becomes increasingly more negative as the bonds become stronger and stronger. Then delta S mixing is equal to PAB epsilon is equal to omega multiplied by mole fraction XA of A and mole fraction of B XB in the binary alloy. Therefore, for a regular solution, we have the free energy change of mixing delta J mixing is equal to delta X mixing minus T delta S mixing is equal to omega multiplied by XA XB plus RT multiplied by XA ln XA plus XB ln XB. We will see what is omega subsequently. The internal energy U of a solution will be determined by the number of bonds of each type PAA, PBB and PAB. So in the construction of the regular solution model, we do not consider the interactions between the second nearest neighbors. We will consider only interactions between the first nearest neighbors. The internal energy here is equal to PAA multiplied by HAA plus PBB multiplied by HBB plus PAB multiplied by HAB. Then the change of internal energy on mixing, delta H mixing is delta is equal to PAB times epsilon, where epsilon is equal to HAA minus the mean of HAA and HBB. So epsilon is the difference between the AB bond energy and the average energy of the AA and BB bond energies. So here we are not considering the second nearest neighbor interactions in regular solution model. For an ideal solution, PAB is equal to N0 Z XA multiplied by XB. N0 is the Avogadro number, Z is the number of bonds per atom, and XA and XB are the mole fractions of A and B atoms respectively. So that gives the number of AB bonds. Assuming the epsilon is not too different from 0, that is quite close to the situation of an ideal solution. For a regular solution model, we can still approximately have PAB is equal to N0 Z XA XB bonds per mole, and let us define omega is equal to N0 Z into epsilon, where omega is called as the interaction parameter. Then delta H mixing is equal to PAB into epsilon is equal to omega XA and XB. Therefore, for a regular solution, we have the free energy change on mixing is equal to delta G mixing is equal to delta H mixing minus T delta S mixing at this is at constant temperature is equal to omega XA multiplied by XB plus RT multiplied by XA ln XB plus XB ln XB. Real solution. Considering the quasi-chemical model described above, that is the heat of the mixing, delta H mixing is only due to the bond energies between the adjacent atoms, or in other words, the volumes of pure A and B are equal and do not change during mixing, so that the interatomic distance and bond energies are independent of composition. However, the quasi-chemical model is oversimplified for many systems in practice and does not provide correct independence on delta H mixing on composition and temperature. For real solution, it is simply not true that a random arrangement of atoms is the equilibrium or the most stable arrangement. Thus, the calculated value of delta H mixing will not give the minimum free energy change. The actual atomic arrangement for a real solution will be a compromise that gives the lowest internal energy, that is delta H mixing, and that is maximized and consistent with the sufficient entropy or randomness delta is mixing so as to achieve the minimum delta G mixing. So in the schematic here you have got a regular arrangement of atoms, so the self solution is ordered substitutionally, and in the bottom figure we have the situation where the interaction parameter is positive, so consequently you have got the clustering of like kind of atoms. When epsilon is less than 0, AB bonding is thermodynamically favorable, or atoms in the solution prefer to be surrounded by atoms of opposite type. The internal energy of the system is reduced. Delta H mixing becomes more negative by increasing the number of AB bonds, that is by ordering of the two atoms. When epsilon is greater than 0, AB bonding is not thermodynamically favorable, or atoms in solution prefer to cluster by themselves. The internal energy of the system can be reduced, or delta H mixing becomes more negative by increasing the number of AA type and BB type of bonds. So that is by clustering of the atoms into A-rich and B-rich domains, the overall free energy of the alloy will be minimized. Both these situations above describe for substitutional salt solution, for which the degree of ordering and clustering will decrease when temperature increases due to the increased importance of entropy. Solid solutions have a negative enthalpy of mixing, omega less than 0. Therefore, unlike nearest neighbors, they exhibit a tendency to form ordered phases at lower temperatures. What is a random solution? If the atoms in a substitutional salt solution are completely randomly arranged and each atom position is equivalent, and the probability that any given site in the lattice will contain A atom will be equal to the fraction of A atoms in the solution, XA. Similarly, XB for B atoms. Then we have a random solution, solid solution. We can say that the degree of order is 0 for a random substitutional salt solution. Short range order. So this is how it is defined. If the number of AB bonds is more than that in a random solution, the interaction parameter, so this happens when the interaction parameter omega becomes less than 0 or negative. The solution is said to contain short range order. The short range order parameter is defined thus as short range order parameter S is equal to PAB minus PAB random minus PAB maximum minus PAB random, where PAB maximum and PAB random refer to the maximum number of bonds possible and number of bonds for a random solution respectively. In solutions having a simple stoichiometric ratio of A is to B atoms, another type of order known as long range order is found. Now the atom sites are no longer equivalent but can be labeled as A sites and B sites. Such a solution can be considered to be a different or ordered phase separate from the random or nearly random solution. Figure A shows a completely random arrangement of A and B atoms, and so this is a typical example of CuAu. So the probability of occupancy of each site by either copper atoms or gold atoms is equal to half. So in the figure B, We can conceive this unit cell to be comprising of two sets of lattice positions, two sets of spatial positions, where one set of spatial positions is occupied by one set of atoms, say copper, so occupying the basal layers of atomic layers, atomic layer positions, and then you have got the gold atoms occupying the middle layer, forming occupying the centered positions of the prism faces. So this is how the stoichiometric salt solution of 1:1 of copper and gold can occupy. The C is again a case where all the carbon atoms are occupied by one type of atoms, and all the face-centered positions are occupied by another type of, exclusively by another type of atom. So in this particular situation, this corresponds to the ideal stoichiometric ratio of 3:1. Long range order. For clarity, consider Cu-Au alloys as a specific example. Cu and Au are both FCC and are totally miscible. At high temperatures, Cu and Au atoms can occupy any site, and the lattice can be considered as FCC with a random atom at each lattice point, as shown in figure A. At low temperatures, however, solutions with XCu, that is mole fraction of Cu is equal to mole fraction of A is equal to 0.5. A 50-50 Cu-Au mixture forms an ordered structure in which Cu and gold atoms are arranged in alternate layers. That is figure B. And each atom position is no longer equivalent, and the lattice is described as a Cu-Au superlattice. In alloys with the composition Cu3Au, another superlattice is formed. The entropy of mixing of the structures with long range order is extremely small, and with increasing temperature the degree of order decreases until above some critical temperature. There is no long range order at all. This temperature is the maximum when the composition is the ideal required for the superlattice. Long range order can be present even when the alloy composition deviates from the ideal stoichiometric ratio. 5 common ordered lattices have the examples, and the first one is L20, a type of superlattice. So it is exemplified by the CuZns, iron cobalt, NiAl, FeAl, AgMg. So here the stoichiometric ratio is 1:1. L12, so this is Cu3Au, Au3Cu, Ni3Mn, Ni3Fe, Ni3Al, Pt3Fe. So here the stoichiometric ratio is 3:1. The third type of superlattice is called as L10 type, and it is manifest as CuAu, COPt and FePt. Then you have got D03 type of superlattice. So here you have got the examples are Fe3Al, Fe3Si, Fe3Be and Cu3Al. Lastly, the fifth type of superlattice, which is commonly found, is has got a structure which is designated as crystallographically as D019. So it is exemplify the stoichiometric ratios Mg3CD, CD3Mg, Ti3L and Ni3Sn. The 5 main types of ordered solution are shown in the figure. Another example is the ordering of the BCC beta brass below 460 degrees to the so-called L20 or B2 superlattice. The BCC or so-called A2 lattice can be considered as a two interpenetrating simple cubic lattices, one containing the corners of the BCC unit cell, the other containing the body centering sites. If these two sublattices are denoted as A and B, then the formation of a perfectly ordered beta superlattice involves segregation of all copper atoms to A sublattice sites, say, and then zinc to the B sublattice sites. This is not feasible in practice, however, as the beta does not have the ideal CuZn composition. Then how can ordering exist in non-stoichiometric compositions? There are two ways of forming ordered solutions in non-stoichiometric phases. Either some atom sites can be left vacant or some atoms can be located on wrong sites. In the case of beta, that is copper zinc superlattice, the excess carbon atoms are located on some of the zinc sites. The long range order in the crystal is discussed by defining a long range order parameter L such that L is equal to 1 for fully ordered alloy when all the atoms occupy their correct sites, and L is equal to 0 for a completely random distribution of atoms. To define the correct site, the lattice is divided into sublattices. A suitable definition of long range order L is given as L is equal to Ra minus Xa divided by 1 minus Xa is equal to Rb minus Xb divided by 1 minus Xb, where Ra is the fraction of sites correctly occupied by A type of atoms, and Xa is the mole fraction of atoms. So Ra is the probability that A sublattice is occupied by right kind of atom. Xb is the mole fraction of A in the alloy. Similarly, Rb and Xb. Mechanisms by which the ordered superlattice is formed from a disordered solution. A continuous increase in short range order by local rearrangements occurring homogeneously throughout the crystal. This is one possibility by which long range order is created. Such an increase can ultimately create a long range order structure. This mechanism occurs when there is no energy barrier creating ordered domains and the mechanism is a spinodal decomposition. This mechanism may only be able to operate in second order transformations or at very high supercoolings below the transformation temperature Tc. The second method can produce long range order when there is an energy barrier to the formation of ordered domains. Here the ordering takes place by a nucleation growth paradigm. The second mechanism is generally believed to be more prevalent. The nucleation growth process is illustrated here, how the ordering domains nucleate and they grow is illustrated. The disordered lattice is represented by the cross grid of lines. Within this lattice, two sublattices are marked by heavy and faint lines. Atoms are located at each intersection, but only atoms with the ordered regions or domains are marked. The unmarked sites are disordered. Since the two types of atoms can order on either A or B sublattices, the independently nucleated domains will often be out of phase and are called as antiphase domains. The formation of antiphase boundary is shown here. When out of phase ordered domains grow together, the diagram could represent a 100 plane in Cu3Au, in which case the black and white atoms could represent copper and gold respectively. So consequently what will happen is, when it grows, an interface is created. The phase of this is different from the phase of this, so consequently across the where these two domains meet, there you have got the antiphase domain. So this is antiphase domain and how it is formed. So what will happen here in this antiphase domain is, there is a good possibility that a like kind of atom becomes adjacent to another atom of the same kind. So consequently, so here, so the filled atom is becoming adjacent to another filled atom, and the unfilled atom is becoming closer to another unfilled atom. So consequently, so you have got a thin interface here, which we call it as antiphase boundary, which has got a higher energy. So the presence of the higher energy increases and the presence of antiphase boundary increases the free energy of the ordered structure. In the case of a Cu3Au superlattice, there are 4 different ways in which ordered superlattice can be formed from disordered lattice. Au atoms can go to the corners of the unit cell, any one of the 3 distinct phase centers. So hence the antiphase boundaries formed in this superlattice are more complex. So this is the tinfoil electron micrograph showing antiphase boundaries in an ordered aluminum iron alloy at 17,000 magnification. So these are the antiphase boundaries, which gives a discrete contrast in a transmission electron microscope. The schematic variation of long range order and short range order for CuZn type of superlattice is shown here. So this is long range order and this is short range order. So above the TC, the long range order perishes, it vanishes. So it is becomes 0. But still there will exist what is known as a short range order. So this is for a copper CuZn type of superlattice, and the B is for Cu3Au type of superlattice. So here in this particular instance, the long range order parameter remains close to 1, very close to the transition temperature, above which the ordered structures becomes disordered, and then at TC and above, the ordered parameter, long range ordered parameter vanishes. So the long range order in this particular instance coincides with the short range order up to TC, and beyond TC there is still some degree of short range order which further decreases on increasing the temperature.